Welcome to the Jiggerator Quest Lab. I'm excited. Are you excited?
This is still Path of Exile, and I am still talking about skills. So, I've put a couple of my characters on hold. I've put the wand and the staff guy on hold, and I'm focusing almost exclusively on the summoner and another character that I made that uses blood magic. So I'm going to show you how that works, I guess. Getting further in, I have to say, something I figured out about the game is that it's incredibly gear intensive. The later you get, the more gear intensive it becomes. Some of my biggest problems with the characters that I was playing was the gear was suboptimal. I'm not talking about the stats, I'm talking about purely in the respect to being able to field support gems for the skills that you were using. And that really made gameplay very frustrating. You have the support gems you want, you have gear with the stats you seem to want, and you can't really marry the two. So this is a slightly less gear intensive. Well, what I did was, instead of looking for gear with the stats that I wanted, I went instead and looked for the gear with the gem slots I wanted. And through that I was able to use orbs and enchant the armor and the weapons to do what I actually wanted them to do. Keepers. And I'm getting better with my auras. I have more of them. I'm using 4 right now, and I'm still going to be working on getting the costs down so I can probably turn on a 5th one, except I'm going to run out of skills. I'm going to run out of skill slots to put in. Well, I don't even use this. I'm just kind of playing around with it. I don't actually use it. So this is the ledge. I'm trying to do all my videos in a very similar spot. So the ledge is a great candidate because it's just all these mobs here. And you can really go crazy, exploding everything. I also switched up from just using pure armor to using a blend of armor and energy shield, and this seems to be working very well for me. Oh, there's more. I have to say, this build is a bit easy mode. I was very frustrated with the other builds, specifically because of the lack of my ability to field the kind of gear that I needed, that I felt that I needed. For instance, if you're doing flicker, you might want reduced casting cost, and that's blue. You might want attack speed, which is green, flicker, which is green, steal life, which is red. So you need a minimum of 4 slots, and they have to be in the specific configuration: blue, red, green, green. And what if you want to add more damage to it? Well, you need a 5th slot and a 6th slot, and frustrating, very, very frustrating. You know, so what happens when you're with melee characters? I mean, what happens when your gear becomes obsolete? What happens when you reach a certain point in the game where your weapon isn't doing the DPS that you want it to do anymore, and so you have to move on. And you can't do that because you have this sort of gear on this weapon and the sort of gear on that weapon, and you have, you have all your stuff filled up. You have very little mobility, and so you start running around trying to figure out places to put it. You start running around missing skill gems. But I like this disco witch. I think people are calling it because of all the orbs glowing around. It's like a party. Literally, you're walking around in a party. Partay. Come on, everybody, follow me. I'm not really afraid of big crowds. I'm not really afraid of anything. Oop. Accidentally turned off an aura. Really, my next thing is when I finish. Not paying attention again. When I finish all the skills that drop my casting costs, I'm going for the aura range, so I won't have to worry about being next to my guys all the time, which isn't really a problem for me. But I mean, it's like I have to be literally up their butts in order to have any effect. Oops. Oops. I do like how the skeletons can work as a wall of bone, almost. Exploding wall of bone. There's the waypoint. So yeah, this is my fantastic skill tree. And I'm going over here right now to reduced reservation percentage. And yeah, this is still a fun character to play, and yes, the way I was playing her before was completely different from how I was playing her now. I had a lot more specs into my zombie. I was only planning on using 1 or 2 auras. I had a lot more specs that increased the number of undead that I could summon. Now I kind of backed that off because I just filled the screen with these skeletons that explode. And so it feels very different. And I still don't have a main weapon attack. There's no left click attack. I'm only using the lightning warp at this point. I tried using fireball with multiple projectiles. That was a lot of fun. I tried using meteor swarm with increased duration. That was a lot of fun. So, alright, so here's the interesting blood magic I wanted to show you, I guess. As if blood magic really needs a very big explanation. Now I'm using 2-handed weapons. I actually decided to go for Resolute technique. And here's blood magic, so kind of spiraling out here. I'm using double strike, which is pretty cool. I'm using my mana cost is about 20. My life gain on hit is 18, so pretty much I'm not only gaining back, but I'm also healing myself every time I double strike, so that's doing fairly well now. Like I said, I'm trying to find attack speed increase support gem for my sweep. because I think that would be very useful. You know, sweep is kind of a slow attack, and you really want to get into the middle of a mess before you use it, so... and just finish things up with double strike. I don't know if it's my own paranoia, but I've noticed that whenever I use an aura, it just seems like I don't regen enough, or I lose health too much. I wonder, did they fix Blood Rage? They did not fix Blood Rage. They're still working on, if you have increased duration on Blood Rage, when it regenerates after you kill something, it regenerates to the original duration amount, which is 10 seconds, as opposed to the increased duration amount, which is, you know, whatever that is. So my base Blood Rage, my initial Blood Rage is 15 seconds with increased duration, and after it regenerates, it's only 10 seconds. Stuff. It's blue stuff. It's not very good blue stuff. But this is pretty easy mode. Every once in a while you can get yourself into trouble with the skills that you have, but for the most part, I mean, if you have decent enough, nope, why did I keep that? You have decent enough amount of potions, you have a decent enough amount of health regen on hit, you can pretty much survive anything. I'm working on armor with this guy, I'm working on resistance with this guy, and I'm not scared of any of this. The only problem I actually had was I grouped up with a summoner, and I was having, because of how the summons didn't kind of control the crowd the way that they were gathered together. It made it, see, like I almost bit it there, but look at that, as soon as I start swinging, I'm practically invincible. So yeah, the problem I had was that I couldn't actually get close enough because of where all the minions were. I couldn't get close enough to my targets to actually hit them. And if I can't hit things and I'm doing a swing, I'm pretty much just wasting my health. So that was a little interesting, you know, experience that you get from playing. Oops. And we learned from my last video that I should not stand next to these guys when they have their molten cores up, right? Yep. Still true. Still true. Alright, settle down. There we go. See? Still? You guys bored yet? Nope. Okay, here's one. Here's two. Here's three. I like the Lord's Mark because I think it was... Does it increase life leech? It does refill your refills your potions, your flasks. Yep, adds to life leech too. So it's nice. It doesn't give you the attack speed increase that Blood Rage does, but it has the same effect really in terms of allowing you to stay alive. And yep, yep. Yep. No worries right here. Yeah, but yeah, again, it's very frustrating to have some of the skills that I have and some of the support gems that I have, and not be able to put them together because I don't have the gear that's necessary for that particular thing. And then what happens when I level up and my weapon isn't good enough for that area? What am I supposed to do? I mean, I have rather elaborate, let's just say, rather elaborate setup. I can't just move all my skills from one weapon to another. I have to, you know, when this becomes end game and I'm not really looking around for gear. Maybe nice. You know, I've settled down and kind of in that respect, it's not really a big deal because I can trade for the gems that I need and I can get the gems I need and eventually piece together the gear that I want to replace. You know, I get a nice piece of whatever, and then I have to make sure that all the sockets on it are right, and then all the amount of jewels on it, gem slots on it is right. Yeah, but until then, it's incredibly frustrating. I guess you learn to live with it. You kind of learn to deal with it and say, well, I'm just leveling through, so I'm gonna go. But I guess this is beta, and I'm trying to test things out. I'm trying to try out different combination of things and see how they work, and so I can't test certain things out. I can't piece certain combinations together because I have the gems, I don't have the item. I have the item, I don't have the gems. Still haven't really had to worry about this guy. Ooh. Ho ho ho. Is someone hurting me? That's impossible. I haven't actually even I haven't really put all that many skill points into increasing my health, believe it or not. I have no idea how much health I should have, but I haven't really even begun to put points into it. Ouch. He's not dead yet. All that, I didn't kill him. What's nice is I don't really have to worry about having mana potions. I don't have to worry about having vials or anything else. I can just have my health potions. It's very freeing. Ouch. Again, not really optimal in terms of damage. I do have a very large two-handed axe that I just recently got my hands on. And I mean, I've been ignoring a lot of the stuff, a lot of the damage spec stuff, and because I was trying to get blood magic and I was trying to get reduced casting costs and things of that nature. Is I don't want to be spending ridiculous amounts of my health. But this is still fun. What? Uh-huh. Yep. Done. Done and done. Alright, I'm starting to feel like I'm repeating myself. I got very frustrated with some things to the point where I actually stopped playing certain characters and consolidate all my gems and consolidate all my gear and all my orbs in order to kind of just build 2 characters that I could play and not have to worry about all too much. Of needing this or needing that for them. I still do. What's going on? Oh. And that's really where I'm coming from with this. Frustration. I don't want to get too angry and start saying things in the heat of the moment. Like this sucks or it's just a gimmick. I mean, I have very unique and distinct. In fact, I was actually playing with another guy who had effectively the same spec as I did, except he was using a bow and he was using iron grip. Come on. And that was really interesting. I mean, he had a completely different playstyle character, yet he had this pretty much the same spec I did. So that's something to think about. Alright, thanks for watching.